Unsportsmanlike Conduct with Kevin Kugler and Michael Severe.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a wonderful program.
1620 The Zone at 1620thezone.com.
Bill Callahan proving once and for all that he's the man to lead the Huskers to a national championship.
Good time.
Bill Callahan.
Jets. Jets. That spells Jets.
Bill Callahan.
This is 2007 Bowl Game Callahan. That's right. I don't exist. Husker fan.
Bill Callahan.
Be in a position to win championships again. And we will do that. And we will do that with Bill Callahan as the head football coach.
Bill Callahan.
Remember when I was coaching in the Super Bowl? Husker fan.
Bill Callahan.
What's the fastest way out of Lincoln? Husker fan.
That's right. It's time once again to check in with our NFL correspondent, Bill in New York, who's run game coordinator for the New York Jets, among other ideas. He's the also offensive line coach, and he joins us now on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. An impressive performance, Coach, this past week as your Jets got an over 100-yard effort from Thomas Jones. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks so much, guy. Chris and Marco, great being on your radio program. And as expected, we were quite successful as a football team. And, everybody essentially has the same blocking schemes. Everybody has a draw scheme. Everybody has a trap. Everybody has a power. Everybody has his own scheme. Things that are probably a little too technical for you, but it's how coaches put their spin on it that makes the difference. That's what makes us such a good football team. And you can have great players, but if you have bad coaches, you're not going to succeed. And Thomas Jones rushing for 101, which I believe was 2 more yards than Nebraska had against St. Joe's. So,
Coach,
as far as this season, so far we're one game in, but I've done an excellent job in every area.
You're looking at the division, Coach. I know a lot of people thought New England was going to win it. Now Brady goes down. Did you in any way celebrate when you saw that Tom Brady went down?
Oh, Marco, it's always tough to see a great player of his stature go down. And, you just hate to see that. It reminded me of last year when Sam Keller went down. Things were going great. We were all set up, to accomplish something incredible. You just build on what we'd already accomplished. And, he went down. We had to reevaluate our goals. But, with great coaches, great things can happen, as you saw with Joey Gant. But, Bill Belichick is a terrific coach also in his own right. And I expect him to put out a good product on Sunday. As I'm telling the football team, Brady's down, and, we just need to storm the castle. And, that's after we burn the boat.
Bill in New York joining us here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. You took a little glee, it seems, in pointing out Nebraska's woes in the run game last weekend. Since you are a run game coordinator type, any advice for that game, for that run game?
Well, Chris, you got to pound the rock. You got to pound that rock. And, sometimes you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. And, when I was the head football coach of that football team, we ran the ball consistently, constantly, confidentially. And, every football game we played, we did that. Quite honestly, I can't recall any instance where we ever threw the football. And, you just need to stick with it. Let me just say this. You can recall that game against Reno last year. And,
yeah.
If my memory serves me correctly, accurately, precisely, we ran the football about 70 times for close to 1,000 yards. To this day, I have football coaches asking me for that game film to use in instructional videos. My advice is simple. Pound the rock. Just pound that rock into submission. You got to be physical and tough. And, that's what Nebraska football was built on. It'd be a shame to see that tradition ruined by this staff.
Callahan from New York. Coach, before we let you go, I have to assume, I know you've had your eye on that Pitt job. Were you rooting for Buffalo? Were you disappointed Pitt won the game?
Oh, Chris, I got my own football team to worry about. And I'm not thinking about that next job. I just feel terrible for Mr. Peterson. His reputation is being sullied by a guy who's ruining the tradition of that program. And, that's disgraceful. He's a terrific human being, Mr. Peterson. He's always fair with his coaches, especially when it comes to buyouts. But, he's terrific. And for Pittsburgh to only beat the Buffalo Bulls by 11 points, that's embarrassing. And, Buffalo's an average football team. But when you're playing at home, you need to perform as a football team. When you're at a program like Pittsburgh, you have all the amenities, the tradition, everything to be successful. And it's frustrating to see a head coach not be able to put a good product on the field, from Mr. Peterson.
Bill Callahan in New York, getting ready for game number 2 of his NFL season. Coach, a pleasure. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Oh, it's always good to talk to both you guys. We got a great football game coming up, and it's going to be great to see Lakeith Smith again, who of course plays for New England. And who knows? Maybe he fumbles for them too. But
whoa,
he's a terrific guy. Should be a great football game. Good luck to Nebraska. Fans just need to be patient. Just be patient with Coach Pally. It's very difficult to follow a legend.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Bill in New York, our guest here on Unsportsmanlike Conduct. From what I understand, we'll hear from him tomorrow as well.
We will?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.